guys, it's Ian here, and this look is starting off with outlining the right side of my face. Sorry, you're in the reverse. And I'm just filling this in with the NYX, you can see SFX makeup. I'll list all the makeup details below because I'll probably forget to mention, or I've forgotten the exact name of the product that I'm using. So I did start filling this in using a dual fiber brush, but I found, which gave a really good effect when it was thinner, but as I was building up the layers, making it a bit thicker, because I wanted to make this sort of as white as possible, I found that the brush was just sort of moving the product around. So eventually I did switch over to a wet beauty sponge. As you can see here. Then I went over this with a light dusting of a white HD powder by City Color. This helped set the white makeup, and it also really smoothed it out, so it looked very smooth. Genius! So now I'm just going in with the colored makeup for the Mad Hatter. I'm really annoyed after watching this video and editing it. I did a shit job on blending this turquoise color out. All of the eyeshadows that I used for this, just on this eye, I used about 3 or 4 different eyeshadows for the eye and the eyebrow. They were all from the Violet Voss palette. So if you're wondering what I keep looking at as well, I have a reference picture right beside me with the Mad Hatter Johnny Depp picture. And I did take a bit of a liberty on the colors here. In his picture he has like a fuchsia and orange on one side, and then a green and a redder color on the other side. I went a little more teal and a little more pink for the colors that I used. And then I just went in with a bunch of orange shadows. Everything I used was matte as well for my eyebrow, and I followed my basic crappy eyebrow on the right hand side. It would be fun to, add some crazy hair here, but I didn't have any at hand, so I just didn't bother. I just went straight with my own eyebrow. I thought this was a pretty ingenious way to do this. I used the Milk Jumbo Eye Pencil from NYX to make the white eyelashes. If I could do this look again, I would have bought a white primer, mascara primer, or possibly a white eyeliner. But this actually did work out, so pat on the back, and you were smart in figuring this one out. Now I'm just adding a pore filler primer from NYX on this side of my face, just on the cheek. And I'm going in with a foundation that I use all the time. It's the Maybelline Matte Fit Me in Poreless, and I believe the shade is 113. It's a hair too, or 115. It's a hair too light for me, but it works. And I'm just doing the typical beauty sponge. This is one from e.l.f. It's okay. I've been using it for a while now, and it's definitely, I need to replace it. It didn't last as long as my beauty blender lasted. And I just went in with some concealer. This is the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in Canelle, I believe is the shade. And I just used my finger to blend that in. Now I'm just going in with a beige eyeshadow to set. I did use eye primer on this eye. And I'm going in with a light pink very sparkly shade. Both of those were from the Violet Voss Flamingo palette. I really want the beauty side to be sort of a soft makeup. Now this is a neutral brown shade from the NYX Warm Neutrals palette. I wanted to add a bit of definition because just the soft pink was looking a little flat. And then I went in with another NYX shadow. I believe the name of this one could be called Chandelier. No, it's not Chandelier at all. I'll have to look it up. I'll put it down below. It's just a very light, sparkly pink. Then I tight lined and lined very, very closely to my lash line with a black pencil eyeliner. Again, I'll put the name of this one in the product description below. I can't remember the name of the brand. I'm pretty sure it was one I got either in BoxyCharm or an Ipsy Box bag. And then I went over that with the NYX Epic Ink Liner. Again, really, really close to the lash line. I didn't want this to be a glam makeup. I just wanted it to be like a soft, pretty makeup. And then I went in and did my left eyebrow. And this is actually a technique I've been using on a day-to-day basis, and it's a little different than what I used to do. I'm going in with a brow gel or brow mascara, whatever you want to call it. It's the L'Oreal Brow Definer. And I've been going in with that first just to sort of fill in the brows, brushing through that. And then following up with a brow pencil to really start to define the shape and fill it out even more. This is another L'Oreal. It's the Brow Definer, I think it's what it's called. I'm guessing it's in a brown. It's either in a brown shade or a light or dark blonde. I can't remember. Again, all listed below. But yeah, I normally in the past would do that in reverse. I would use the pencil first to create sort of the shape and then use the gel after. But I kind of like the way that this works. It ends up being a bit more softer. Now I'm just going in with a light bronzer, so all of the face products that I used is from the Hourglass Ambient Edit Volume 4. And a light brush of the blush, not like what I did in my review video for that palette. And the highlighter from that palette, again, it's a nice soft glow highlight. And then I'm using the light yellow shade just to sort of lighten up under my eye. And then going all over with the finishing powder in dim light. So back to the Mad Hatter side. I'm now going in and creating sort of the shadows that are on his face. I used a plummy purple shadow from Morphe KathleenLights palette. It's the same shadow I used in my Easy Vampire look. In hindsight, I should have maybe worked on the forehead part a bit more, but whatever. And then I used a small shader brush just to really blend out the edges of that. Okay, this part I kind of messed up. And also, I think Johnny Depp has a much straighter nose than I do, or at least I should have not followed my own nose shape to do this part. I should have gone a bit more straight down instead of following the curve of my nose. And I also, as you can see, I'm trying to blend that out. I sort of blended it too far across my face. So I really tried to soften it up as much as I could. And then I went back in and covered it with a bit more of the white SFX makeup. And this part was a bit of a painful part. I really sped it up and deleted some of the footage just so we could get through it. But this part I spent a lot of time on. So I outlined the Mad Hatter side with the same black eyeliner that I used on my eye. So the concept that I had for this side was, well, it was originally the China doll concept, and then I got confused and realized that's actually from the Wizard of Oz movie, not from Alice in Wonderland. But then I thought, well, I kind of want to go for like sort of a cracked look anyway because there's the whole cracked mirror. So then I went over that line with the black SFX makeup from NYX, just because the pencil is not very, very dark and I just wanted to use the pencil to create the outline. And then I went over it with the black and started trying to fill in more details. Again, I was using a reference image of somebody else's China doll type makeup. In hindsight, I think I need to watch a video on how to do this because I'm not gonna lie, it didn't work out the way I had hoped it would. I mean, it turned out okay, but it didn't turn out exactly how I had envisioned. Let's just say that. Also, in hindsight, I'm not sure if I would have done the cracked sort of skin look. Another idea that I was going to do was sort of making it look like a mask, like the Mad Hatter side was on top. But I thought sort of the Mad Hatter coming through was a better visual, like Alice's face cracking and the Mad Hatter coming through was an interesting concept. Execution needs work. So I added a bit of white around some of the edges, again, mimicking what I'd seen other people's makeup look like. You see this part looks a little different than earlier as well. I kind of wiped it off and redid it. Then I went back in with that NYX Epic Ink Liner just to, again, deepen some of the cracks a bit more and then extend them out in a finer line. I couldn't quite get such a fine line. I probably could if I really wanted to try and practice, but I don't have that kind of skill. So I went in with the Epic Ink Liner to add in some of the finer cracks. And again, this took way longer than it should have. The whole makeup and hair and everything took probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And that was like with me getting up and finding things that I couldn't find where the product was. So it overall didn't take too long to do. Okay, went back to the Alice side for a little bit because I wanted to take a break from that side, and I put on an eyelash. As you can see, I suck at putting on eyelashes. Something I want to practice. And I also had a lot of problems with it sticking on the inner part of my eye. So I've had a lot of problems in the past month with my left eye watering. And so the glue, it just wasn't sticking on the inner part. And I curled it just to kind of mash the two together and make it a bit more natural. And I never added any mascara either to that eye. So now that I took a bit of a break, I actually went and curled my hair and came back to the side of my face. I was trying to think of what to do to make it look better. And I decided to add some gray eyeshadow, again from the Morphe KathleenLights palette, just to add some definition to the Mad Hatter side to, again, make it look a little bit more like the Mad Hatter was underneath. I don't know if this worked. I think it looked a little bit better, but again, I spent an excruciating amount of time blending, adding in gray shadow and blending it all around. So again, I've deleted a lot of this footage so you don't have to sit here through all of it because that would be entirely painful. But I wanted to show some of it just to show the concept or what I was doing. And in some spots, you can see I was adding a bit more depth, a bit more shadow compared to other spots. So that gives a good look of pretty much what I did all the way around the edges. Now for the lips, I decided to go in with two different colors, one for the Mad Hatter side and one for the Alice side. So on the Hatter side, I went with like a deep, sort of a deep fuchsia color. It looks brighter on camera, I think, but in person it looked a tad darker. I think it's a NYX Soft Matte Cream. And then on the side, I went for like a soft peachy pink. I wanted it again to be like a soft, pretty look. So this is a NYX Lip Liner. And then I went in with, I think it's a Meat Matte Hues lipstick in Committed. And I could see when I was doing that, I messed up my face makeup, so I needed to touch that up. And that's it. So this was the final makeup. Just wanted to give a shot to show what both sides looked like. I think it turned out okay. And if I did it again, I think I would change up a few things, but I was pretty pleased with how it looked. I'd also spend more time on my hair. I kind of just curled it and that was about it. And then I wanted to show here, just to add a bit of whimsy, I added a green contact because the Mad Hatter has green eyes. But then this is also a bit of a cat eye contact, so kind of like a Cheshire cat. That was a whimsy. Trying to add a little bit of whimsy to Alice. And then this is the whole outfit. So I wanted to show the shoes there. They're really cute wedge Mary Janes with some striped tights. And I have a little pocket watch and headband. And that dress, I actually made that dress over 10 years ago. I'm surprised it still fits. And then I have like a little Cheshire tail poking out, again, adding to the whimsy.